Okay, so we stumbled upon Google Drive File Stream. Google Drive File Stream is a very useful piece of kit that we've set up for you. In order to launch Google Drive File Stream, what I do is I recommend everybody who's trying to get that started. If you haven't done it before, click in the search bar down here and then type in Drive, D-R-I-V-E. And usually it'll show up with Drive File Stream. I say usually, sometimes it doesn't like to cooperate. If that's the case, you can do the same thing. Um, uh, or you can click on the Start menu and look for it in here, and it's under D, D for Drive File Stream. Okay, so if you look under D for Drive File Stream, you can click on it there, and it'll open up Google Drive File Stream. If you already have it running, it'll give you this little notification that says Drive File Stream is already running, and it adds this little icon down in the corner. If you don't see that little icon, it's probably hidden underneath this little up arrow. If you click on that, now it's going to show you all the little icons that that Windows has decided to automatically hide from you. So if you right click on this, you'll see that it's either got you signed in or it says click here to sign in. And then what you can do is you can click there and it'll give you the Google login page. So just put in your username and password, your first name dot last name at willistonschools.org. Your password is the same thing you use to log into everything else. And so you can just go ahead and get signed in, and then it will open up Google Drive File Stream, which is marked as your H drive. The first thing to know about Google Drive File Stream is that this folder here isn't actually a folder. You can't place items in here. If I try to let's find, let's go ahead and grab a document, and I'm just going to put this test.pptx, click and drag it onto the desktop. So now I've got that file somewhere where I can just drag and drop it. That's the only reason that I ever put things on the desktop anymore, is just so that I have some place where I can drag and drop it and not have to use two windows. Just a quick aside there. But if I try and drag and drop this into Google Drive File Streams folder, it's going to tell me I can't find it here. And it also says this action is not yet available in Drive File Stream. So I'm going to hit cancel, because this is not a folder that you can place stuff in. This is a symbolic folder. It's basically saying, hey, there's a structure here that you need to know about that I can't do the same things with, but I lack the representation to show this as something that's different. That's basically what this boils down to. It's that this is a container which contains folders that you can use, but you can't actually place things into this folder. So, think of this as a locked sort of permanent folder with only My Drive and shared drives as options within here. But if I expand that out, My Drive is a folder. I can work with My Drive the same way that I would work with any other folder. And I'm going to go ahead and copy test.pptx to My Drive, and it'll show up. And if I go into my Google Drive, it'll show up there as well. So when I go into my Google Drive, it's going to show here as well, where right here it says test.pptx you uploaded just now. So that file, even though I was using it in my File Explorer, because File Explorer is linked to Google Drive File Stream, I can just use Google Drive Files, or I can use File Explorer to put things into Google Drive File Stream. I can delete things from in here just by the same process of either hitting the backspace button or hitting delete, or right-clicking and clicking delete. And it still shows up in the recycle bin in the same way. So in order for me to get rid of it out of my Google Drive, I do have to empty it from the recycle bin. Now it's permanently gone from Google Drive. So it's the same thing. However, the default for moving files into Google Drive file stream is copy. So I don't even have to be holding down the control key. It's just automatically assuming you want to make a copy. You don't want to delete your local copy. You just want to have a backup in your Google Drive file stream. Now, if you're a member of a shared drive, the shared drives folder works the same as this Google Drive file stream folder in that you can't actually put things in here. So it can't do that. It doesn't know where you're trying to put that file. But if I go into one of the files that I have, or if I go into one of the shared drives that I have write access to, I actually can go ahead and drag that into it. So I'm going to go into my TIS, the Tech Integration Specialist shared drive that was between me and the other TISs. And if I drag and drop this test.pptx into here, it's going to make a copy in that shared drive. And again, I can just delete that. It ends up in the recycle bin, and then I can empty the recycle bin. It also gave me a little notification down in the bottom right here that says items are no longer accessible by collaborators. And this is because things that are in a shared drive are shared automatically. So when I added test.pptx into this shared drive, it figured automatically, oh, because this is something that's being moved into the shared drive, it's going to be shared out with a bunch of other people. And so when I removed it from there, it said, okay, what you just did there removed it from the other people's view as well.
So one of the things I forgot to talk about last time when I was recording this initially was the sharing options for using Google Drive File Stream. So for instance, if I have this file here, drive login and sharing 101.gdoc, first thing to note is .gdoc is Google Docs proprietary file format. So it's kind of like a .docx file, except this one can only be opened in Google Docs. So if I double click that file, and assuming that I've already signed in to Google Drive in my browser, it should be able to open this up. And here it is. So I can see right in here, this is the Google Doc that I want to share. I could just click the share button while I'm in here, while I've got the page loaded. But if I already knew what the file was and knew that I wanted to share it, I could just right click on the document itself. And then down here, this is the confusing bit. We've got share with Google Drive, and we've also got share. You don't want to do just the share one. You want to do share with Google Drive. So if I click on share with Google Drive, now it's going to give me the dialog where I can put in the names or email addresses of people that I want to share this with. So if I wanted to share this with if I put in a comma, it allows me to put in the next person. So now I've got the other tech integration specialists or digital innovation specialists, and now I can change whether I'm giving them edit access or comment access or view access. So I'm going to go ahead and give them view access. Here I can add in a note. And then I'll click send. And it's going to send a notification to them with my custom message. And it's also going to give them view access to this file. If I wanted to give take a link and put it in an email or something, I can click on Get Shareable Link, and this is going to turn on link sharing. And here I've got my options where I can change it from anyone at WPSD1 with the link can view. Say, for instance, I needed to send this to parents. I would want to go down to more and then change it to on anyone with the link. That way that anybody that I send that email to will be able to see it even if they don't have a wilsonschools.org email address. But if I wanted to keep it to just people who are logged in with their wilsonschools.org addresses, especially in instances where you might be uh, viewing sensitive material or you want to ensure that that document is only viewable by people who are within our organization, then you would set it to here. You hit save and it'll make sure that that link is set with the settings that you need. And again, if I'm just going to send to a couple of people, I would put their email addresses in here and then I would hit send. Another option that Google Drive file stream gives you is if you've already turned on link sharing to a specific file, you can right click on that file and go down to copy link to clipboard. And what that's going to do is that's going to take the link to that document and it's going to put it in your clipboard so that the next thing you can do is if I was composing an email or if I was launching a web browser, now what I can do is I can open up a new tab, I can right click and hit paste, and that's the link to that particular document. So if I hit enter, now it's going to take me to that document. So if I were to paste that into an email, now I don't have to go through the sharing settings again to get that link that I want to put into my email. I can just right click the file and click copy link to clipboard and then paste it into the email.
So in short, using Google Drive File Stream is a lot like using Google Drive on the web, except it's using that uh, the symbolism and language that File Explorer uses. So for those of you who have been using File Explorer a lot longer than Google Drive, you're going to find this to be a much more natural experience. Whereas if you're more comfortable using the Google Drive web version, it's nice to have this as an option because there are certain things that you can do with this view that you can't do on the web version. For instance, if I wanted to move a folder full of stuff onto my Google Drive, I would have to do it using this view, the Google Drive file stream view through File Explorer, rather than doing that on the web, because the web version doesn't know how to handle uh, dealing with a bunch of folders or dealing with the folder and its contents. So if I wanted to take the contents of my downloads folder and upload that to Google Drive, the best way for me to do that would be to just grab the downloads folder and drag it over to Google Drive file stream and then drop. Now, sometimes this happens right here. It says the destination already has a file named desktop.ini. So we're going to skip that one, but all the other stuff is going to get moved over. And you can see this little cloud here means that this folder has been synced, whereas when it was a little blue circle, that meant that it was still uploading files. So, anytime I drag over something big, it might take a little bit for it to fully go over. And so you don't want to shut down your computer while you're in the middle of while you're in the middle of a file transfer. You want to make sure that all of your file transfers are done before you shut down your computer. So hopefully that's going to be helpful for you as you learn to use Windows File Explorer and Google Drive File Stream together. If you have any questions, please let me or any of the tech department members know, and we'll try and get you sorted out as best we can.